Don't eat the meat. Okay? They're asking you at every turn to make a legal determination. Now, Rice McLeod down in Texas is a master at this legal determination thing. Every question they ask, he says, I can't make a legal determination. He filled out a paper, or had a lady in Pennsylvania fill out 4 pages of a questionnaire that she was ordered to give the judge, and on every one of them says, I cannot make a legal determination. Every question. Okay? Because they need you to verify what they're doing. That's where the verification comes in. Remember, the scripture says, in the mouth of 2 or more witnesses, a thing is established. Okay? When they bring the charge, that's 1 witness. When they ask you, do you stand under these charges, and you say yes, that's 2 witnesses. Okay? When they bring a charge, that's 1 witness. When they ask for your fingerprints and handwriting, and you give it to them, that's another witness. There's only 1 person in the world with your fingerprints and handwriting, and that's you. Okay? That is a witness. Okay? Now, in the process of going through the courtroom and what we're doing with accepted for value, that judge absolutely knows what's going on. There is no question about that. But they're going to question you, they're going to prod you, they're going to lull you to sleep at every opportunity to get you off of this point. They're going to try in some way to move you from do you have a claim against me and what is my remedy, to something else, some other argument. They will send you a bogus order. For instance, they will send you an order to do something with no date and time to do it. What do they want? They want you to call up and say, when should I come? I have one. Okay? They want me to pick up the phone and say, what time am I supposed to be there and what day? Well, I've got an order to do something, but I haven't got around to doing it. So they're going to need to compel me further. Okay? They don't make mistakes. He didn't just leave it out. They need my cooperation. They need your cooperation. They need you to make a legal determination. Because no one can make a legal determination without you hiring them. That's why you go hire an attorney, a doctor, an accountant. Anybody that practices can only act when you give your permission, when you make contract with them. Okay? And believe me, when you fill out that form in their office and giving them the information, that's what that is, because the last thing you put on there is what? Signature. My word is my bond. Okay? Everything comes into existence on a signature, and it never goes away. Okay? It's always out there. Now, part of the process of acceptance for value is to close accounts. One of the processes that closes the account is purely an accounting method, because that's all any of it is accounting. And I always give this illustration. I used to be in the landscaping business. I come out and I do $2,500 worth of work in your yard, and you give me 25 $100 bills. What's the balance? Zero. Now let me ask you something. Is this a plus or a minus? My expenditure of labor, time, and energy. Minus. This, when you give me 25 $100 bills, is that a plus or a minus? What's a minus and a minus? More minuses. Here's an explanation for the national debt. This is a picture of bankruptcy right here. Okay? This is how it works. All right? You have divested the obligation of its legal character. You don't owe me anything. You have discharged your obligation. Okay? When you paid me. However, all you did is discharge the obligation. Together, we created $5,000 worth of debt that never goes away. Because down at the bottom of this ledger sheet, these two never balance. You got a 0 on one side and a 5,000 on the other, and they can never get together. Okay? Now here's what happens when you accept something for value. Your labor, time, and energy is what? It's a positive. So you say, I'll accept that for value. And this becomes a plus. Now you've got a closed account. You've applied a positive to the minus, to the negative, and you've got a 0. Now let's put it in scriptural terms. Let's extend this up a little. And let's make a cross over here and a cross over here. And this is a picture of Calvary and redemption. Okay? When Jesus was on the cross, there was a thief and a murderer beside him. And he was making it an offer, was he not? He offered himself a sacrifice for all. Okay? Now, here's what happened. The one criminal says, if you're the Son of God, bring yourself off of there, saving you and all of us. And the other one says, remember me when you come into your kingdom. You had one that scoffed, and you had one that accepted. And upon his acceptance of the offer, his debt was paid in full because Christ said, today you'll be with me in paradise. Did he do anything to earn it? No. You had offer, you had acceptance, you had contract. Okay? That's what it's about. They created a system in 1933 in America to do this right here. When we take our acceptance of their offer and apply a positive to it by our acceptance for value of our time, labor, and energy, it creates a 0, case closed. I have one. Okay? The state of Washington came after me through the state of Idaho for my ex-wife's welfare bill, $4,600. I said, I'm not paying that. State of Idaho says, fine, we'll suspend your driver's license. Well, I'm not going to put up with that. I do not consent. We don't care. So I appealed from the hearing officer at Health and Welfare to the district court. The district court ruled against me. I appealed that decision to the Supreme Court. Wrote a brief beyond compare. It was so good. They ruled against me. In the meantime, I had learned about this process of acceptance for value. When I got the Court of Appeals judgment, it said, we uphold the lower court's decision and remand this back to the lower court for the execution of the judgment. In other words, they're going to suspend my license. So I said, well, it's as good a time as any. I got out my UCC 3, and I put the judgment and the case on my UCC 3, and I filed it, and I accepted that judgment for value, exempt from levy, signed my name, and sent it to 9 people. 3 weeks later, from the district court, I got an order. And that order said, this matter having been heard by the hearing officer, and the hearing officer having ruled that the appellate's license should be suspended, and the appellate having appealed to the district court, and the district court having upheld the agency, and then the appellate appealing to the appellate court, and the appellate court having upheld the lower court's decision, it is hereby ordered this case is closed.